Hello traders, today is Sunday the 8th September 2024. I have probably a long video for you today, 17 different names, and I see a lot of different setups. Unfortunately, most of them are to the downside. I only picked 17 because I have comments in some of them, and some other setups are probably very obvious to me, but there is a lot of stuff going on. If you actually have a list like this right here, you're probably gonna have a lot of opportunity to see what is going on in the market. I strongly suggest that if you have a long watch list like I do, trade based on a focus list. So basically make a small list out of I think I have about 200 names right here or something like that. So make a very small list, probably less than 10 names that you can check during the week. This is what I have for a focus list for next week. And it's not very big. This list could change throughout the week. It could get smaller or bigger or whatever, but that's normally how I like to trade. Anyways, let's get to the video. It's going to be a long one, it seems like. As per usual, just want to let you know, this is not financial advice. This content is for educational purposes or entertainment purposes, however you want to see it. I strongly suggest you do your research and due diligence before you risk your capital into any kind of equities. That being said, let's get with the video. So we're starting with AFRM. And one of the things that I was saying last week, I should actually add this to my focus list. One of the things that I've been talking about AFRM is where is this? Oh, here. Is, you know, the lack of momentum and the obvious extension that we saw after earnings. I do believe, and there is a good opportunity or good chance, I shouldn't say opportunity, a good chance that we're going to go down towards a 200 SMA or this support level right here at 35.6 and starting filling this gap. There's low liquidity here. There's actually low liquidity all the way down to 33. So the way the market is trading now, I think uncertainty and weakness is going to prevail for the next few weeks. We still have a very important data coming out this week, and that's probably going to maybe give us a breather or maybe make this a little more dramatic. We'll see what happens. But definitely September is going to be a pretty critical month for direction towards the next few months. Also, we have, I think the presidential debate is next week. We also have, obviously, elections. All of this is creating uncertainty. And normally when there is uncertainty, you're going to have, you know, sell-offs. It would be great, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually get a little bit of green tomorrow, and then we continue going down. We'll see. Anyways, AFRM, as far as what I'm seeing on the chart, looks like it's going to continue going down. MACD and TSI already telling you a story that they are going to continue going down. We might see a little bit of green tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not sure. Nobody knows. But anyways, your resistance level is 39.3 and your next support level is 35.6. Again, there is low liquidity here, so that normally is kind of like a magnet towards a particular direction. In this case, is towards the downside. You have the 200 SMA. That's going to be critical for this name. That's what I have for AFRM. And now let's go to, what do I have? AMD. AMD is continuing to move down. We can all tell that. I've been covering AMD. Well, I actually cover AMD quite often, but when we were in this area, I was saying if you don't break resistance at 161, and then if you continue to go under the 200 SMA, you're gonna continue going down. my assumption was, and you probably can use a 35 SMA as a support level, but it actually didn't happen. And I did warn that we could go down to 34. Well, seems like, well, we're obviously there. We're sitting right on 34. And don't be surprised and you go back to this trend line right here. And it's basically on a 128 area, but I wouldn't be surprised if we actually go down all the way to 122. I do believe that obviously this trend is going to end probably sooner than later in the great scheme of things. And we're going to have a lot of opportunity to go back up. Look at the move that we had after August 5th. I wouldn't be surprised if we have similarities in an opposite reaction when we start seeing a reversal. For now, I still bearish on the market, considering what I just mentioned, that there's going to be a lot of uncertainty in the next few weeks. Anyways, keep an eye on 34. 122 wouldn't be surprising, so pay attention to that. Let's take a look at another name that really tried this week and completely failed, and that is Amazon. So Amazon, what I told you was, and you're probably going to be stuck in between this range, meaning the 200 SMA and the 35 SMA. That happened for a couple of days, but then on Thursday, I believe, on Thursday, you went up about almost 3% at some point during the day, or almost 4%. And then it actually lost momentum, taking you back to this support level, which is 175. Which is also critical. Then you had this pretty large move on Friday, and you went down almost 4%. Now, I do believe that we're going to continue going. You're basically under the 200 SMA at this point, and you're going to go to 167. You break this support level, and you definitely don't have much of an area other than this right here, which would be 162. Again, if this is what is going to happen, I think we have, unless you have positions or long positions on this, I think we have to welcome these kind of moves, because there is definitely going to be a reversal. Again, in my opinion, it's going to happen sooner than later. You just have to be patient. Amazon, I mentioned this in different videos, is being stock that was pretty generous to me. I for some reason, I seem to understand this Amazon and Apple. I seem to understand how they move on the daily basis, and I've been doing pretty well. For now, I don't think is stock for me. The MACD and the TSI don't look really good. They kind of look neutral, to be honest. The same with the RSI. So there is going to be uncertainty. If I have to put my money on this, I would go short to 167. But again, this is one of those things that I do believe that we just have to be patient and look for the reversal. I don't want to trade this to the downside. There's too much uncertainty, and the market is not providing any good, I guess, insights so far. Let's take a look at AVGO. And AVGO had pretty bad, well, the earnings report wasn't bad, but a pretty bad reaction from the market. And I think that is basically, let me put a square here. I just like to put these rectangles on gaps. So anyways, you are right to the on the 200 SMA. I wouldn't be surprised that we actually go under the 200 SMA, and in that case, you probably have a support area right here, pretty much between 129.40 and 130. So that would be your level. Is not exactly this line right here. Is probably between this and 130, 130.3. Anyways, you break this 200 SMA, which would be my support right now, and we're going down definitely to this level. We'll see. MACD and TSI are definitely telling you a really bad story right now. So I would not be surprised if we continue going down on AVGO, which means that this sector is probably still have, and you saw what I had on AMD, it still has a lot of steam to the downside. Unfortunately, a lot of people got, I think, caught on the FOMO on these names. Normally I try to swing and get out of my swings pretty quickly. I don't keep them for weeks very often. I normally keep them for a week at max. I trade in panic, and that works for me very, very nicely. Anyways, that's what I have for AVGO. Keep an eye on the 200 SMA. I think we're going to continue down towards 129 and maybe farther down. Anyways, that's AVGO for you. And let's do Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has been really holding this line. I mentioned Bitcoin, I believe, on Thursday or Friday. I think it was on Thursday's video. And what I was saying was like, if you actually go under 57, you're going to meet 52. That happened the next day. So I did mention this on Thursday. Yeah, that happened the next day, but then you bounced out of the 52 level and looks a little bit weak still. This kind of candles is not what you want to see, but we'll see what happens. Right now, the stock is flat, I would say, but it's right at 40 and at 54. You can argue that this could be a level as well. Some people are using 54 as a support level or resistance. I just went down to 52 and it seemed to be like more accurate. And the reason why I use 52 is because you had this candle right here, right at, what is this, probably 53, and you had this kind of like resistance that took a few days to break. Anyways, and when it broke, it was pretty violent. Anyways, so I'm using 52 as my support, 52.7, that range, and maybe 52.5, whatever. But MACD and TSI are not looking too good, to be honest. So we'll see. This definitely had an impact on a lot of stocks, and sometimes seems to be a predecessor, especially during the weekend, of what is going to happen on the week. Maybe we have a flat week. That wouldn't be bad. Anyways, that's what I have for Bitcoin. Let's move on to CHWY. And there were a couple of posts from Roaring Kitty in X. It was this, I guess, what's the name of the Toy Story cowboy guy? I don't know the name, whatever. Drawing the little toy. It was drawing the little cowboy or the kid on the story, whatever. I don't want to complicate this. The thing is that he was basically saying, I don't want to play with you anymore. And he was using the picture of a dog or the caricature of a dog. I don't even know if that is anything to do with CHWY's branding, but let's focus on this. In my opinion, I would not use those posts or I guess information as a basis for my trading. I do believe that a lot of people get caught up into that. There is a lot of still a hangover from 2020 and 2021 when people were trading very responsibly based upon memes or based upon let's say Elon saying Dodge, and people would just go crazy and start buying Dogecoin and that sort of stuff. You all know exactly what I'm talking about. My strong suggestion for this is don't fall for that. Just trade the setup. Don't be trading what you see in X, meaning somebody trying to pump stock or trying to dump stock. It is interesting because GameStop, GME, there was it was actually some call options that were taken on Thursday and sold on Friday, and whomever did that made I think $600,000 within minutes or hours, and it was all based on this type of posting of memes from Roaring Kitty. It's just very suspicious in my opinion. Don't trade like that. That's the only reason I'm mentioning CHWY right now. Just what I see out of the chart, if you care, we are at support at 25.2. You also are right on the 35 SMA. If you break that, if there is nothing or memes or anything crazy going on, you're probably going to go down towards that 200 SMA, your next support. There is nothing really here supporting the stock, in my opinion. So you have this area right here. There's a lot of room to actually make money. Chewy is nothing I want to touch. I don't touch stocks that are mentioned by Roaring Kitty because normally they are a complete trap, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Anyways, that's all I have for Chewy right now. Let's move on to where are you? Coinbase. Let's do Coinbase today. And look at this. This looks, in my opinion, very, very weak. Now, there is a huge, I guess, relationship between Coinbase and the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum and whatnot. But in reality, I do feel like this stock has been nerfed for a while. And I really don't think there is as much enthusiasm for this name as it used to be. I don't believe that it's gonna go back to the high 200s anytime soon. If anything, it's gonna continue going down towards 114, not to this level right here. I think if this continues, it's just gonna go down past 136. It is interesting how it was behaving on the 200 SMA, and you can actually see that it was flagging right on it. That was a very telltale sign. You had this downtrend, then you were flagging, and then you completely collapsed. It's been day after day of red candles for Coinbase. Now, seeing the RSI, I wouldn't be surprised if you have a little bit of a rebound here on this area between 161 and 136. That would be pretty choppy if that happens, but I don't have a lot of high expectations for coin. And again, one of the problems that I have with these names, whether if it's Coinbase or Mara or Riot or any name or CLSK, a lot of these names that are susceptible to price action in crypto, I find them a little bit difficult to trade. And unless you have a setup, and again, I haven't been paying much attention to coin, like attention enough to think I wanted to trade. But when you see these kind of setups right here, maybe it's a good idea to trade them. Other than that, I would leave them alone. Bitcoin is a roller coaster, and that roller coaster comes to all of these names previously mentioned. So yeah, I think you are probably going to hit 136, maybe a rebound right there. This would allow RSI and some other indicators to catch up a little bit, but don't be surprised if you hit 114 for Coinbase. Let's move on to another name that has been, I'm just going to click on Dell really quick. This was also going on the 200 SMA, is collapsing now. You might have something there. And I think I have another name that is or was behaving the same way. The same here with Blueprint Medicines. The three different sectors, very different markets, but they are behaving the same way and they are actually showing opportunity. This is a setup that it is very, very solid. It's basically a flag, but you're flagging on the 200 SMA, you're coming down. So you have BPMC, you have Coin doing that, and you have quite a few names doing the same. Sorry, I'm getting distracted, but I just thought about Dell and how the similarities on how they were going on the 200 SMA. Anyways, let's take a look at, let's go down. Let's take a look at Google. And Google has been, I mean, how can I think is, if you take a look, sorry, I was taking notes. If you take a look at this, it broke the 200 SMA, it broke support at 157, correct, 157. And now I think it's gonna fill this gap eventually. It is funny because last week I mentioned Google, and I was saying if you break 200 SMA, I think we were somewhere in this area, you're probably gonna fill the gap. I wasn't expecting a drop of 4%. But if you fill the gap, then your next support is 142. If that is the case, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if that is the case, this would be a gift from the market, in my opinion. Google is still a leader in the sector, yet a lot of people are not liking this name very much. But there is another side of trading that is definitely very enthusiastic about the fact that Google is trading so cheap. Again, if we go down to 142 or anywhere around this level between this gap and 142, it would be an absolute gift for traders. I do believe that even at this level, it's still a gift. It's still very cheap. So I'm not jumping into Google yet. I want to see a little bit of a rebound, but I would probably get into Google pretty heavily. I do believe, again, that there is still going to be a lot of negativity on the market and a lot of people that are scared. And we might continue seeing a downtrend. And until I don't see a good sign of things getting more stable, I'm not going to jump into long-term calls in this case for Google, meaning that I would probably buy calls for February of next year and just sit on them for like a month and then sell. So for now, I'm just going to wait. I do believe that it would be a beautiful thing. I'm sorry if you have investments in Google, a beautiful thing if we go to 142. That would probably implicate that the market is doing really bad, so maybe I shouldn't be hoping for that. But anyways, 142 or that area, it would be fantastic if we are talking exclusively for this name. But even at this area, this is a very good opportunity if you are thinking about building a position on Google. That's all I have for Google. And let's move on now to, if I can find you, let's do Southwest. And the reason why I am mentioning Southwest is because I do believe that the transportation sector is probably going to be the next one, giving us a pullback. I don't even have levels on this name yet, but I've been looking at American Airlines. I've been looking at Delta, Southwest, and some transportation names, and it looks like they are losing momentum. They had a very nice run from, is this the 5th? Probably. Yes. From August 5th all the way up. It's pretty much an entire month of being green. And it looks like it's gonna lose a little bit of momentum. So there might be some opportunities here. I do not have it on my focus list. I'm checking my focus list right now, but I do believe that there is opportunity in the transportation sector. I just want to see a little bit more of weakness, and the reason why I'm mentioning Delta, Southwest more than let's say Delta or United or American Airlines, is because the setup on the chart looks better than the other names. Now this is going to be a waiting game for me. I want to see what can we get, and I want to see if I am actually right. I could be completely wrong, and this sector might continue going up. But I'm just seeing weakness in general. And even though I think if oil and other commodities start going up, we're going to see a decrease here on the transportation sector. That's what I have for Southwest. And let's do now another sector that I think is going to be losing momentum, if I could find this. Okay, is American MasterCard. I'm sorry. So let's do MasterCard, and let me take a note really quick. I'm mentioning MasterCard because the setup looks better, let's say, than Visa or American Express. Let's take a look at American Express really quickly. And you can see it here. Oh, this actually looks good too. It's already very nicely on its way down. So I do, and it's right under the 35 SMA. So American Express is going down very nicely, and I do believe that this sector is probably going to have a little bit of a pullback. So there might be an opportunity for a quick swing, you know, overnight or maybe 2 or 3 day swing. I just like how it's looking on MasterCard. Let's take a look at the weekly chart, and well, the weekly chart is actually looking it's looking bullish, but I do like the daily chart for a short-term swing, meaning a couple of days of a swing for this. Is looking pretty decent. Let's take a look quickly to Visa, which I was mentioning Visa on the way up, right on this area right here. So that was in the middle, towards the end of August. It did work out very nice. I do believe that might have a little bit more room to continue going up, maybe a couple of more days, who knows, and then this is going to go down. We'll see what kind of data we get this week, and that could also invalidate what I'm seeing here. Again, on the weekly, at least for MasterCard, is looking a little bit bullish. So I think if we get good data and the market starts feeling a little bit more positive, then we might see a continuation to the upside. So beware of that. I do believe, again, that if news are not as expected or they come in line and the market is not impressed, we might see a downtrend on this sector. So keep an eye on Visa, MasterCard, American Express. Let's move on to, where are you? I'm going to do Microsoft. And look at this setup right here. It was also on the 200 SMA, which I mentioned last week. This was similar to what I said on Amazon. You're going to be on this range between the 35 SMA and the 200 SMA. If you break any of them, then you're rallying or you're dumping. So what happened? You broke the 200 SMA, which is a signal for you to actually go or to suspect then the stock price is going to go down. It did go down on Wednesday. It couldn't break on Thursday, and then you had a full sell-off. It's a big candle, 1.6% for Microsoft, which is considering the size of Microsoft, is a pretty big move. And I do believe that we're probably going to go down to 398. When I was mentioning Microsoft, which was either last Friday or on Monday, which was a holiday, Monday on Labor Day, I was saying that if you break the 200 SMA, you're going to go down to 398. Well, we are right at 400 right now, and we'll see what we get tomorrow. We might bounce on 398. I think if, again, the market starts feeling a little more secure, again, September is a difficult month for trading, but if the market is still or gets a little more confidence, we might see a rebound on 398 and continue going. If you break 398, yes, you're going to go down to 389. And again, that would be a phenomenal opportunity to go long. To be honest, I'm just waiting for a reversal. And I was saying last week, a lot of opportunity is going to come. You just have to be patient. We are there already. We continue, I guess, to see red. And if we continue to see red next week and the following weeks, I think you just have to think, sit on your hands and just wait for the reversal, because pretty good money is going to be made at that point. NQ, let's mention NQ because it gives you a perspective. So on NQ, I do have, you're right on the 200 SMA. You break the 200 SMA and you better go call your mom, go cry to your grandma, do something about it. But you are hitting right at 1800 even. And then if you break that level, then 17.5. and then at that point, that means that everything is looking bad. That's really bad news. I do believe that this move has been very, very, I shouldn't say violent, but very, very strong to the downside. We are, again, on August 5th, you actually went down all the way to almost 17.2, but then you actually pushed back, and we can consider that you were right on the 200 SMA. So if you break the 200 SMA on the daily, there is going to be a lot of pain. I do believe that you're going straight to 1800 even. And then if you break that, again, it's going to be drama. People are going to cry. You're going to cry. I'm going to cry. Everybody's going to cry. That's what I have for NQ. Just keep an eye on this indicator. It gives you a perspective. You can, I mean, if you want to see something, you can see Qs or triple QQQ, or you can see SPY, which they are also at levels like right now. QQQ is at 449, I do believe. Yeah, and you know, you might hit the 200 SMA. SQQQ is doing great. I was thinking about going long on SQQQ, and I totally forgot about it. And then SPY, where is SPY? Is also at a critical level. It's right under the 200 SMA, and now you are at 540. So you break 540, you're meeting 532, no problem. So you know, you can either take a look at NQ or just take a look at SPY. It also gives you an idea of what's going on, but it is critical for NQ to stay on the 200 SMA. Under that, you can definitely start making phone calls and cry to whomever picks up. Anyways, let's do NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is also at a critical level. I do believe that if you break 101 support, you're gonna go to 95, no problem. So and then if that is that your next support level would be the 200 SMA. MACD and TSI are not looking too good. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a continuation towards 95 in the upcoming trading days. Would there be an opportunity again to get into NVIDIA? Yes, I do think so. But if we get to 95, I would probably still be impatient and see if we are going to go down to this area right here where August 5th, we had a bounce on August 5th. It's not really a level, but then it is basically where the 200 SMA is going to be. So another name that you want to wait, another opportunity in the horizon, but you're not there yet. Don't be doing dumb stuff. I wouldn't even short this yet. You know, I think the short play is already gone. That train already left you, and don't be running behind it. My suggestion, do what you want to do. Anyways, let's move on to PayPal. And on PayPal, I mentioned PayPal on last week, and I do believe it was on Thursday, I think, where I mentioned, or Wednesday, one of the two. And what I was seeing was this, a couple of things. You're seeing this nice move, and it was pretty nice to see PayPal getting out of this range. It was ranging here for a while, pretty much since the beginning of the year, and it was this chop, and then it started moving after the 5th, I believe. It started moving very nicely. And then the MACD and the TSI are telling you a little bit of a story. And you know what? I'm going to put this on my focus list because I always have a hard time. Okay, so almost 5% down on the day. On Friday, you have support at 67.5. I do believe if you break that level, you're gonna meet the 35 SMA really quickly and move towards 34.9. Let's say 35, or I'm sorry, 65. I think I said 34. It's 64, 65. So there's weakness on this market as well, on this sector as well. So I wouldn't be surprised. Unfortunately, at least for the way I like to trade, it already had a pretty strong move on Friday. So I feel like maybe I was left behind. Who knows? We'll see what happens on Monday, but the indicators and the chart itself is telling me that this is going to continue going down. Now, there's a little bit of liquidity here, so it might be a little bit difficult for this to actually continue going down. You have a little bit of a gap right here. So we'll see. Definitely putting this, I just did, on my focus list. And I see opportunity to the downside. Now, PayPal is not a company that I do believe is gonna underperform in the short term. In the long term. But in the short term, it's gonna be choppy. And you have seen that this whole year. I mentioned this on my last video as well. The CEO of this, the new CEO, not that new anymore, is a pretty capable guy with an amazing track record. So, and he's doing, in my opinion, the right moves for PayPal. Is doing the right, I guess, deals or alliances with other companies. And I think that is going to move this company into a very positive, I guess, scenarios. PayPal definitely has had pretty terrible, I would say, time since 2021. And I'm not sure if we're going to go back to all-time highs. We're very far away, but I think that this stock is cheap. Short term, I do believe it's going to go down probably to 65. That is what I think is in my focus list. I'm not trading it yet, but I might get on it. Now let's do Qualcomm. And look at this. It's looking interesting, isn't it? So you have a head and shoulders. 35 SMA is about to cross the 200 SMA. This name is also flagging on the 200 SMA, which I mentioned that on 3 different names. That was Coinbase, Dell, and I think it was now I need to know BPMC. Anyways, I think this is a great opportunity. I told you this list could actually grow. This is a great opportunity to the downside. It continues. I think if you break this resistance level at 158, you're going to continue going towards 133. There's a lot of opportunity in this name, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't really see another level other than maybe here. But yeah, I mean, the fact that you're crossing this, the 35 SMA is not a good one. You also have a very, let's take a look at this on the weekly and see how it actually looks, because it might be different. Never mind. It's looking really good. So here's where we are. Here you're already under the 35 SMA. Again, you're at support right here. You're probably going to meet 200 SMA sometime in the next 2 weeks, maybe before that. I shouldn't say 2 weeks, probably in a week. If this trend continues and if this pattern gets validated. So yeah, there is opportunity here. I'm probably going to trade this next week. Qualcomm for you. Look at this. Looks nice. I think I did put up something about this on X. So check it out on X as well. I have some, I guess, charts on X for you. So the link for my X account is always in the description of the videos. Anyways, let's take a look at another name right here. I have 2 more and then I'm done. Where is it? And then we have Super Microcomputer. So let's take a look at, sorry, I'm taking a note really quick. Look at this. The only reason why I'm mentioning this is because on X, I did say that we are going to meet 358 or 3, I think I said 360. My level is 358. Anyways, I said 360. I think we're gonna get to 360 if this continues. RSI is a little bit oversold, but everything else is also telling me that this is probably going to continue. The 35 SMA already crossed the 200 SMA, not good. I do believe that 360 is coming. We're pretty close there. We might actually rebound at 360 or 358, whatever you want to see. And after that, we'll, I don't know, you can assess. I don't have any names, any positions on this. Again, I'm trying to see what I get for next week. Right now, I am in box, BOX. I do have calls on Clover. I do have calls. No, I'm sorry, no calls. Puts on Clover, puts on box, puts on RKT, which is forgot the name. It's like rocket companies or something like that. And that is all I have. And we'll see how they play out. But anyways, I'm probably gonna sell those next week and buy something else next week as well. And now let's go to the last name on my list, and that is let me fix this really quick. And that is Workday. Also looking interesting for Workday. And let me take a quick note on this. Nice, 41 minutes already. I gotta go. Okay, so we are right on that 200 SMA. You have another gap right here. Let's put this gap just because. Damn, look at this. So you have another gap right here. Okay, so this is another good opportunity to the downside, in my opinion. MACD and TSI are looking fantastic. RSI is already pointing down. I do believe that if we continue, or if we are more solid on going down under the 200 SMA, then we are probably gonna fill this gap towards 238. There is low liquidity here. There is definitely opportunity. This move was due to earnings, just like this move right here was due to earnings. So this gap is basically the same since Q1 report. Was this Q1? Since May 23rd. I don't know what quarter was that for. Some companies have checked their quarters differently. Anyways, that's what I have for you guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Just be careful. I think these upcoming weeks, this whole month or maybe months, are going to be difficult to trade. So be very, very patient, and be also very mindful of your money. Personally, as soon as I see weakness on the position that I am in, I sell. That's it. Sometimes I leave money on the table. I'm cool with that, but I feel better when I see weakness, I get out, and I happen to be right to get out. It happens more often than runners. So, or than when I leave money on the table. Again, I'd rather protect my capital than actually get greedy and then cry to nobody after I lose money. That's all I have. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.